absolutely condemn any source of violence, and even more so domestic violence. So this is absolutely clear to us. I must, in full disclosure, my mom is a social worker, and she's been involved in, she was working in an institution which is the alternative to the prison, with people who have either suffered themselves domestic violence or have been involved there. So it's a topic that I personally feel strongly about. So our stance is absolutely clear on this topic. Clearly, we need to make sure that we foster those healthy discussions with the players.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, I think first of all, by leading by example in terms of how do we treat parity in our own organization. And I think the example that Jeff has given you shows that in the end, this is the level of respect that we need to have irrespective of your sex. So I think it's not just having workshops, it's about showing to the people that you actually believe in it by actually, doing the right thing. So that's the first thing.
Can you give me an example of this?
Yeah, so basically we have a joint funding together with the Premier League where we do a workshop to basically discuss sexual consent, how do you engage into a relationship, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and I think this is something that we need to continue doing.
Should somebody who's found guilty of rape ever play for a football club?
I think you need to basically separate two things, and maybe that's the lawyer part of myself who speaks. I think, legally speaking, can someone who has done this time work, not just for a football club, work in general? I would imagine, legally speaking, yes. Is it morally the right thing to do? I think this is for the employer or the club in this case to decide what stand do they want to take. I have my own opinion, but I'm not here to express my own opinion.
What is your own opinion?
Well, I think you need to be consistent about what you want to portray as an organization. So if you are supportive of certain things, then you need to make sure that we are consistent in the decision that you make.
Would your advice not be in those situations that without any detriment that those people still get their terms and conditions in terms of their pay and continuity of service and all those things, but are removed from that workplace whilst the case continues? Mr. Thompson, what would your view be?
From an operational board standpoint, that would be completely appropriate. That would be our advice, and that's what we do as the interface between the executive and the players' board. Governance, risk and audit looks at all aspects of a threshold that would be to the detriment of the membership or the reputational relationships that the PFA has with its stakeholders and society as a whole. But that would be completely appropriate and in line with the practice of presumed innocent until presumed guilty. But nonetheless, it would be right to put the player on a suspended protocol of training until such time as a judgment is reached either way.
Kurt Zouma, social media, kicking his cat around the room, somebody close to him who was there has put it on social media, them laughing. They obviously find this is funny. Do you have any role to play in either educating him or disciplining him, or if the club disciplines him, will you just go in and represent him blindly, as it were?
So obviously it's not for us to discipline him because it's for the employer to discipline him, but I think our role is to say to the player the truth, which is this type of behavior is not acceptable. It's not acceptable at home, with or without camera. It's not just a question because it's visible, then it's bad. It's just bad. Full stop, and it shouldn't be happening. And I think, I haven't seen the video, but I've read that he has apologized, which hopefully is a sign of him acknowledging that this type of behavior is not acceptable. So we really hope, because I've been a player myself, and we really hope to tell them the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but we need to tell them what is right and what is not right.